What is up, everybody? Again, I don't schedule my live streams, so if you're tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't intend to stay on long, but there's been this conversation that's been catching my attention lately. And my mom has always taught me you stay out of the men's business. And I do try to stay out of men's business. When I see them arguing about man stuff, I just kind of go the other way. Nothing to do with me. But, I caught this video from the Celebrity Junk channel. What's up, O'Shea Duke Jackson? And he's talking about how Yo Gotti might have ended his career. Because Wack 100 has come out saying that, there was some testimony in the Young Dolph case that was pretty damning to the record label, or at least some lawyers associated with the record label of Yo Gotti, what is it, CMG? And these are all allegations, but obviously that was some damning testimony on behalf of that record label if it were true that this shooter was indeed paid some money to go and off Young Dolph and maybe have a little bit for his legal fees. I don't know. I saw the guy get sentenced to life in prison yesterday. Justice well served, but not really, right? Because I often feel like just because the person, like a lot of times we look at the person who pulled the trigger, right? And we don't look at the conspirators too many times, right? And a lot of people think that, like, if I did not do the job, then my hands are clean of it. But if you were conspiring to do the job, you were just as guilty, even if you did not pull a trigger. But I am not going to put Young Dolph's murder on Yo Gotti. I don't know the situation at all. But I will tell you that when I assess the situation between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti, I will have to say that it really seemed to have boiled down to jealousy. And not only jealousy, for me, I'm reading Yo Gotti as kind of a Diddy, where he was trying to be a gatekeeper for the maybe rising artists in Memphis. I don't know. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for those of you who recently subscribed. But I think that this situation, this dynamic between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti is kind of interesting, right? Because it tells you that gang culture life is very similar to these high level record executive life where they're always getting percentages of what you're doing, right? And so I was looking at this little video on YouTube highlighting the beef between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph. And first of all, I respectfully, I've listened to both of these brothers' music. I don't advocate gang life, gang culture, but if you just listen to the songs, right? And you're talking hip hop, those are real hip hop songs, okay? Those are real hip hop songs. And I say that to say that I think that both of these men, in their own rights, were talented. They were both very, very talented men, especially the duo of Young Dolph and Key Glock, his cousin. I think Key Glock is his cousin. I follow gang culture music because I want to hear the sermons of my brothers. I want to hear the sermons that are being leveraged. And so I really started getting into gang rap when King Von died. And I really just started taking it as a serious study. And I study the lyrics of these brothers' songs, right? And when you study the lyrics of these brothers' songs, you get a gauge as to the mindset of people like them in their environment. And so I look at this Young Dolph murder. It was senseless. It was senseless. There's no reason why Young Dolph is dead. There is no logical reason why he's dead. I don't even really feel like this is about gang violence. This is about the pride of black men that can't own other black men. This is what it's about to me. I think it is about the pride of black men who have this weird sense of territory in Satan's world. They're blocks, they're whatever, governmental owned blocks, but they have some sense of territory to these blocks. And everyone keeps saying that Dolph is dead because he named a record King of Memphis. And I'm like, no way. No way. They're like, well, yeah, all the OGs from Memphis, they thought that that was just real disrespectful. This young dude talking about he's the king of Memphis and he was just to be side himself. He was being very disrespectful to the OGs of Memphis. And it's like, the OGs of Memphis are pussies if they are killing people because they named a record album King of Memphis, right? And the thing is, when I listened to some of those lyrics and when Dolph was actually talking about Yo Gotti, I don't think he was stealing flowers from the brother. I really don't think Dolph was stealing flowers from Yo Gotti. I really think he was trying to acknowledge the man, right? But I think that the pride of certain irrational black men get the best of them sometimes, and they can't see past reasoning. And so I think what happened is Yo Gotti, who was in the game for much longer than Young Dolph, he saw that young boy. He was rising. He was getting his flowers. And the one thing I think that really irritated Yo Gotti, in my opinion, could be wrong, is he couldn't own Young Dolph. If you look at a lot of these documentaries, they wanted to own that entrepreneurial brother. They wanted to own him. His own brothers wanted to own him. They wanted to own his work. They wanted to treat their brother like a white supremacist would treat him and own him. And this is what I'm kind of getting from this Yo Gotti beef between Young Dolph. It wasn't about this gang and pride and the King of Memphis stuff. You wanted this. I feel like this dude wanted to own his brother. He was jealous that his brother was rising without him and without riding on his coattail. And I think that he saw the empire that Dolph was building as a threat. And this kind of presents a bigger problem for me when it comes to Black empowerment, Black unity. It's all false in a lot of senses because a lot of us don't want to see our own people getting ahead. A lot of us need to be glory whores. A lot of us can't see our people moving better, quicker, or different than us. We eat each other alive with jealousy. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. We will eat each other alive before white supremacists ever get to us. So for me, I talk about the issues in my communities very pragmatically. We are the problem. We can be our own damn problem. There is no reason why in Memphis, Tennessee, both of those brothers that was making national airways, why they couldn't just do that. Why one of them had to take the other one, allegedly, supposedly, out of the game. Like, I don't understand why these brothers can't exist, understanding that their threat, their biggest threat, will never be each other. And it's really sad to me. It's really sad to me. And I even, I don't know. Let me get to these comments. This is not about Kamala Harris, John Gray, whatever. This is not a political blog. This is a Black people conversation. So you can just walk your way out of this chat right now. What's up, Eric? How are you? White supremacy is not a concern in today's society. You're a liar and you're oblivious to what's really happening in America. And I'm sorry that you're like that, but I will pray that you get more of a broader perspective of what's happening in America. Maybe go on X and see how the white supremacists talk, right? And I said, yeah, Jean, whatever, you came in here calling Kamala Harris an ad hominem attack. I would think that you're more racist than I am. Go kick rocks. Anyways, this conversation, Wow, here we go. So, anyways, don't come up in my chat with all that demonism and racism stuff because we don't do that over here. Anyways, I'm talking about conversations that impact Black people. And if you're a non Black person and you want to hear these conversations and learn something, you are welcome to do that. But please do not come up in here inserting yourself. We're talking, and the topic is just our people and how we treat each other and how we can't really see each other flourish without some sense of jealousy. And when I look at Young Dolph and I listen to the lyrics of his music, a lot of times you can tell a lot about a person by the lyrics of their music, right? And so I'm listening to this dude and he's talking about his grandmother. Obviously, Young Dolph was raised by his grandmother. He has a respect for the elderly. And that's one thing about those folks from Memphis, Tennessee. They raised by their grandmother. You're not going to talk about their grandmother. They have a respect for their elderly, especially the ones who took care of them. And so I looked at this guy. He seemed like, the gang life he could have been all in on the gang life, it seemed like to me. But it seemed like Dolph was really trying to find alternative ways that were in better ways, if you will, that were not, so volatile to really make a living. And to me, I assess this brother as somebody who the gang culture, the gang life, that was just like a means to an end, right? And you kind of see the way Dolph was moving. I don't think that that was something that he really wanted to be a fabric of his life. So when people so I feel like people are narrating this Dolph and Yo Gotti thing, whatever like allegations would be, as a gang thing. I don't think it was a gang thing, right? I don't even, because I don't think that Young Dolph, I think that him and Gotti were cool at one time, and that he might have even been, doing his thing with Gotti. So I don't think it's it. I really do believe this is the pride of two Black men, one of them older than the other one, the older one thinking that the younger one should give them so much homage, right? And not only that, they wanted to own that one, the younger one. I really do believe that Yo Gotti made him an offer. I saw this documentary. He said he turned around, and after Dolph declined the offer, he wanted to be on his own, do his own thing. Then allegations, supposedly Black Youngster, the rapper, came and shot up. These are all allegations, but these are all indications of the mindset of these brothers on the streets, right? They are exactly what they rap about, right? And I think a lot of them, they get out of the game, and a lot of times you really can't get out of the game because it's always going to follow you in some kind of way. I pray for the family of Young Dolph. I'm not saying any of these brothers are innocent, right? I don't know what they've done in their personal life, but I do say that, knowing what we know about Young Dolph definitively, the brother should not be dead. There's no reason for Young Dolph to be dead. And the only reason why I can think that this man is dead is because another Black man was jealous of him. Another Black man wanted to own him. He refused him, right? And then that other Black man, possibly, allegedly, maybe, started treating this brother like these white record executives that is like, I'm going to make you. They want to own these people, right? Notice how these white executives move. They want to own you. Gotti probably wanted to own Dolph. Dolph was like, no, I'm an independent. I want to start this from my ground. I don't need Yo Gotti's name. Let's respectfully say, Yo Gotti did have a name before Dolph, right? But Dolph did not want to ride on the coattail of Yo Gotti's name. He was a Black man that decided that he wanted to make a name for himself. And another Black man, for some reason, it seems like to me, had a very, very hard time with that. Like, and you see this so much. You see this so much. When I heard Young Dolph died, I'm just like, why? Why? What was this brother doing? behind closed door that this man is dead. And when you look at kind of like his transition, like he really wasn't even trying to be about what he uses a mean to an end, it's like, it's sad. It's really, really sad. You know, black man, get your pride, get your arrogance together. Get it together. Y'all just whacking each other off like Call of Duty for no reason but your pride, your arrogance, and your narcissism. A lot of black men are dead because of the pride and the arrogance and the narcissism of another black man. You know, and that's why black people, like I said, we are our biggest threat. We are enemy number one. We are enemy number one, right? We can't even face our enemies in collection because we are our own damn enemies. We are our own damn enemies. Like, and I've always felt like black empowerment was a false sense. There was a false sense because there was always some weird ass black person that really wasn't doing what the other ones were doing, and they were just on some real hateful shit, sabotaging shit if they could. Like, people don't want to believe this shit, but we got people out here sabotaging their own damn people because they don't want to see them more successful than them. That's a fucking mental illness, especially for a struggle group, a group that claimed that we've been so struggling. And that's mental illness, sabotaging your own people because you're jealous and you're not moving like they're doing, or they're getting more flowers than you. So, anyways, y'all know when I start to rebuke, I start to rebuke. But I'm rebuking my people on this because I'm tired of this shit. I really am. Like, I couldn't trust you men to be soldiers in a fight for black people if y'all needed me to. I couldn't. I don't trust people who will betray their own freaking people this way. You know? So when, I think the other day Tariq had this girl on and she was foundational black American, but she wasn't herd mentality black American. She was individualism. I live by the code of individualism because I don't trust some of you need growth. I don't trust some of you need growth. Some of you need growth. Some of y'all need growth in your mind and in your soul. You need some growth. So you are a need growth. I ain't even gonna give you the Negro land name. You are a need growth. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. I said that I was not gonna be on here long, but this stuff it itches me. It itches me so bad sometimes because I can't stand to see these brothers. When I heard that Young Dolph died, I just couldn't understand it. The brother was on the top of his career. And why is it that when these brothers get at the top of their career, then all of a sudden they get whacked off? I'm not kidding you. I thought something was really going on in the industry because I couldn't understand that all these rising to the top brothers, they were just being whacked off as soon as their career was hitting heights. I'm like, damn. Like, what is going on here? It was back to back to back to back to back to back to back since 2020. I want you guys to just go and look at the roster of the rising rappers that have been whacked off, just knocked off, right? It will astonish you, right? And and a lot of these people, it's not drugs. It's like these are supposedly their own people whacking them off in some gang rivalry. It's insane. It's insane. Black people, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Black men, get control over yourselves. Y'all got to stop playing Call of Duty with each other. This is so bad that these brothers will get to the peak of their career and then bloop, they out of here underneath the ground by their own people. God be with us. God be with us. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks to those of you who tuned in. Black people, we have to do better. I'm not accusing Yo Gotti of anything. I don't know what this man's involvement was in Young Dolph's murder. The allegations are out there. The streets are talking. There was some testimony that was real questionable, linking his label to at least the shooter of Young Dolph. And then there's all these people from the streets talking about these beef that these two men have. And, you kind of put some things together and you kind of say, like, bro, even if you had nothing to do with this man's death, right? The worst thing you did was try to own that man. You tried to own that man, and he didn't want you to own him. You tried to own your brother, and your brother said no, just like those record executives did. So, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, right? I will catch you on the next one. Bye.